G'day, mates. We are back. I'm in a house. What an upgrade, Elster. Last week was a car. This week it's a house. It's not my house.
He's a real
It's
boy.
it's quite a random house, but a house nonetheless. We're back to the holding mic situation, but it's better. It's better. We're making upgrades slowly but surely.
I like it. You've got a microwave in the back, a cheese plant there. Is that a spoon collection on the back wall there I can see?
I like rusty spoons.
It is a spoon collection. Well spotted, Elster.
Oh, I like to,
Okay, well,
delve into my co-host surroundings and just see what's going on, get a vibe for the room. So, yeah, okay, microwave and spoon collection. That's a good combo, strong combo. So things are looking up, Simon.
now I'm not sure. Maybe we've stumbled across something. Well, should I bring the spoon collection onto the pod? Should that be our new niche? We talk about fantasy sports, we talk about vintage spoons, a bit for everyone.
Yeah, look, Sorare is a pretty broad topic. Everyone it's a bit of a topic for the everyman. Whereas vintage spoons, that's where you can really find your true audience. So yeah, I'm all for it. So rare spoons down
Yeah,
under. I'm on board.
I like it. I like it. Look, I'm going to be my best to be my joyful, vibrant self. I am pretty certain that I might have given myself a mild case of food poisoning. Prior to the beginning of this podcast. I was a little bit late coming into the studio. You were calling me. I was actually just lying down in bed in like a dark room because I got some of those chicken patties and it was quick sale. So they were going off like today. And it's those big boxes of chicken patties that there's 15 chicken patties for the price of like $8, like chicken schnitzels.
You can use a spoon if you want, but God gave you the hands for a reason.
Like, they shouldn't be that cheap. And I had like 3 of them for lunch, and I feel very ill. I vomited outside a little bit earlier.
Can't resist a good deal. 15 chicken patties that were going off, and you're like, yeah, I'll smash through them. No worries. Do you think
I have
maybe
a
you're not
problem.
sick
I see something
from
on
the
sale.
patties going off, but you were like shoveling fake chicken into your gullet because you're like, I've got to eat them before tomorrow. The best before date's tomorrow, the 27th.
Well, I got in too deep. I couldn't let them go to waste. I have an issue. I have a problem. I had my meal prep completely planned out. I walked into Woolworths and I saw 15 chicken patties for like, it says quick sale, only really saving $2. But as soon as I see that, quick sale sign, I have to buy it. And Ulster, I'm 3 patties down. I feel ill. I have 12 to go. I don't know if I can do this.
You've got to get that money's worth. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all about I see that coupon slapped on the front of that. I will take drastic left turns in my choices for the day, for the evening, for the week. If there's that coupon, if that's that sale sticker slapped on the front of like some, beef bourguignon microwave meal that's marked down from $12 to 80 cents because it went off 2 weeks ago, I'm in. Let's go. 80 cents. You're practically paying me to eat beef bourguignon. I'm down. So you've got to finish the rest of the packet. I'm pretty keen to see the results. Could you do it live on pod? I mean, could we get the could we get your new housemate to like fry up a few of them for you and bring them in, feed you piece by piece throughout the course of the podcast and see if you shoot yourself.
It's a new type of content, at least. But look, I'll try and push through. Hopefully, the worst is behind me, and I can keep powering through.
It sounds like the worst is definitely in front of
It's
you.
been a somewhat quite. Yeah, look, probably, but let's keep positive. Ulster, you won a reward. It wasn't all smooth sailing as it always is in the Sorare universe. Now, I know you love a bit of a rant. Tell us what happened, Ulster. You got those hopes up again, didn't you?
Rant alert. Condition red. All crew report to duty stations.
I'm strangely at peace with it, Simon. I feel like 2024 I've turned over a new leaf and I have a new perspective on Sorare. I think it comes down to the fact that there's so much drama going on, you know. Everyone's talking about, oh, they're going to take our thresholds away. Sorare's going to 0. You know, Nicholas is out there throwing emojis left, right, and center. I've just found this zen zone of like, whatever happens, happens. You know, I feel like my gallery is full. The transfer window has been kind of kind to me. Some cards have come back from the dead. You know, I've got a few injuries, but I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. So it's kind of like, let's just see how it rolls. Now, long-time listeners of the show will know that I am not a victim of the Friday curse. I am very much a victim of the Monday curse. End of the weekend, everything starts strong. The hopes are up. I've sinned, the hopes are up, and everything just goes terribly. So let me tell you a little story about my entire Monday, from like 5 minutes before waking to the end of the day.
In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches. I can do 1,000 now.
Are you ready? Okay.
Please.
So I'll paint a picture. All of my teams are sitting pretty. My All-Star Super Rare team, I'm sitting in like 12th with one player to play. I've got Xavier Mercier, captain of his club, set piece taker, main man. What could go wrong? All I needed to do is like get on the pitch. If he gets a decisive, I'm looking at like a strong top 10 finish. It was a pretty weak week for All-Star Super Rare. Like Bayern didn't do anything. A lot of the big teams didn't do anything. League One wasn't playing. So I was sitting pretty well. And then my Cap 240 Super Rare team, I'd already kind of come close to the threshold. Alexandru Maxim, you know, so rare icon that he is, gets a decisive early in the game. He's racking up AA. I went to bed with him on like 88 points. So my Caps 240 Super Rare team had one player to play. I'd already hit the thresholds, and I was like, great, I'm going to win a card here. So I'm basically going to bed going, I've got 2 cards in the bag, you know, hopefully a top 10 finish, maybe a bit of ETH. Things are looking good. This new attitude of mine of just like letting whatever happens, happens is working really well. I wake up Monday morning. First notification I see, Alexandru Maxim, yes, he got an assist, also got sent off in the last couple of minutes of the game. So that kind of like, you know, threw me out of the prizes. I still hit my threshold, so I'm happy, you know? Whatever will be, will be. Then I'm waiting on Xavier Mercier. I'm waiting for some team news. Sure enough, team news comes in. Our main man's sitting on the bench. He's sitting on the bench. I'm like, that's okay. I'm cool with this. I'm sure that he's going to get on. They're playing against the worst team in the league. There's every chance he gets on at halftime and, you know, gets me something. It's getting to like the 84th minute, 85th minute. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. He's still not on the pitch. Now, I turn on the game because I'm like, I can't handle waiting for the notification. I can't wait for the, hey, he's going to have a chance to, you know, do something kind of notification. So I turn the game on my little app thing. I turn the game on. I see all the players kind of going, looking like lost sheep. There's banging going on. I'm like, what is happening? Turns out the crowd is like throwing flares on the pitch, letting firecrackers off. They're not happy because their team's losing to the worst team in the league. I'm going, you are kidding me. Like, the game's going to be called off and he's not going to get on the pitch. Luckily, whilst amongst the chaos, they did sub him on. So he got his 25 points. So that saved me, like, you know, completely dropping out of the prizes. But so I did get a prize. I'm happy with that. It could have been something more. So that's a disappointing start to the day, right? Now, however, the story's not done, Simon. I know you're just sitting there going, when's this going to end? Shut up, mate. I go to work. It's 37 degrees Celsius. That's like 384 degrees Fahrenheit for those American listeners. It's hot. I'm working away. I'm sweating. I'm liquid, basically. Now, I work in a job, it's very niche, kind of like this podcast, where I basically restore damaged tile floors by injecting an adhesive underneath the tiles. Very niche. And I do that using like a pressurized pot full of adhesive. Now, I'm sweating. It's a stressful day. I'm hot. I'm bothered. I'm getting to the end of the day. I'm feeling like, yep, I've got this in the bag. I'm just about to finish this job for the day. I hear this like fizzing noise. I turn and the pot explodes. And adhesive goes all over, not just a house, like a mansion. I'm working in a mansion. It's like the biggest house you've ever seen. Glue goes all over their windows, their doors, goes all over their brand new white couch. It goes everywhere. And I threw myself in front of it bodyguard style to try and save the situation. So I'm covered in like this very strong adhesive. so that's my day. So it went from like, I'm zen, I'm cool, to like, I don't think I can live anymore.
And did you?
But it's okay, because I pulled a tier 4 of a Sammy Vines. Sam Vines, who currently is doing nothing in Antwerp, but is going back to Colorado next season. So I've got myself another MLS player in the bank. I'm pretty happy with that. Worked out well, got my thresholds. You know, life's good.
It's such a roller coaster. And I've always said it's never smooth sailing in Sorare. It's never you have a good game week.
No.
You get a good reward. It's always the roller coaster. It takes you on the journey. I think you expressed, like, going back to Colorado, that's such a win-win, because how often do we see these Americans, they go over to Europe, can't hack it, come back, and they do pretty good in the MLS.
Yeah. It was a good. I suppose he is a DMP. I guess that's what they would categorize him as. But it's a great tier 4 to pull, so can't complain. But yeah, I mean that's been my week. I also had a bit of so there was an announcement recently from Sorare where they basically said, "Hey, I know you're all like annoyed at the fact with rivals. When you hit a streak, you've got to start again from scratch. Your streak doesn't continue." They were like, "We'll change that, no worries." So all of a sudden, Simon, I went from, because I don't know if it was between the pods, but I hit my 5 streak on Rivals, opened my like 10 arena tickets, and then I was like, I just don't want to have to start again and try and get to 7. It just seemed too daunting. So they're like, "No worry, we've changed the rules. So now basically your streak just continues." So I was actually on 6. So I had a Rivals matchup to play to get my 7th in a row. And I lost. No! I lost my Rivals matchup.
Oh. What was your matchup that you chose?
Okay, so I will blame myself here in that I got the news that my streak was back on, and I was very excited. I'm like, I'm going to go for the 7 as soon as possible. The only games that were on were Ligue 2, which I know nothing about. I don't have any players in them, but I was like, well, I can't wait till tomorrow. I have to do this now. So I jumped on Sorare Data. I'm looking up who's got the most passes. I've just been listening to Laird and Gator Guy talk about how to win Rivals, and I'm like, I've got the edge. I've got the mental edge. I'm in for this. And it just, I mean, I'll say this for Rivals. I was engaged. I was so hooked to this game, which I had no players in, which, I mean, that's a good thing. I'm excited about that. I mean, we've talked about Rivals. Everyone's talked about Rivals, but the sweat was real, and unfortunately just every notification that came through was a goal for one of his guys and not mine, so didn't get there in the end. Also, I picked Tiki Taka because everyone knows you either pick Tiki Taka or Gijin Presson. You don't pick any of the others. This dickhead picks Joga Benito. Sure enough, he's just Joga Benitoing all over the pitch. I don't even know what you do to Joga Benito, but he was Joga Benitoing the whole time, smashing it. Got like his bonus, the full bonus from his Joga Benito. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was a genius. Turns out he's a genius.
Yeah, look, I've only ever used the Gen pressing and the whatever the Jules one is. But no, I must say I'm not to the same extent as you, but I was going for my streak. It is that fine line between the addict in us that's like, I want it straight away, I want it now.
Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
I'm just going to pick the soonest matchup, and also try to be somewhat strategical. But you said something before. Sorry, it's just whenever you go on your rants about your game week, I've got mental notes of the past 5 minutes of your story, and I've got to try and remember where you left it.
Is it because I didn't let you talk for like 12 minutes straight?
Yeah, that might be it. There's so many times where I want to jump in, but you just get.
I'm on a roll. I'll tell you what.
You cut me off.
I'm going to take this jersey off, and I'll explain why. But just you get your thoughts, and I'll take this off.
Seems strange. Don't really have much more to add.
Good job, mate. You really really kept the air going there. No dead air from Simon. Consummate professional.
Yeah. Nah. Can you explain why you had to take your
I'll explain
shirt off?
why I took my shirt off. Okay, so we had some very exciting news over the week for the Sorare Down Under podcast. A bit of a milestone. People always say to us, "Oh, why are you doing a podcast about Sorare? It's so niche. You'll never make any money. You'll never come to anything. You'll never amount to anything. You're nothing." That's what people say to us on the street. But during the week, got a little message from the team at Sorare, and they have sent me a signed Tottenham jersey, signed by the boys. And I was wearing it, thinking that it would come up in conversation pretty early on, and I could be like, "Hey, look at this." But it turns out I was just sweating really profusely because it's quite hot here, and I'm like, I don't want to ruin signed jersey by sweating and making Eric Dyer's signature run.
Okay, I see.
So
now,
I'm going to hold it up instead.
You have. Oh my days! Oh my days!
It already stinks. It already stinks. That's the problem. What happens if you put a stanky jersey behind glass? I don't know. I was like, I'll wear it. That'll be a fun conversation starter. Nah, I've ruined it for everyone. But look, hey, it's covered in squiggles. Completely unwearable.
Look, yeah, wow. Who would have thought a man could be so excited by something that he so clearly hates? But no, that is perfect for you because you've got a Tottenham jersey, no signatures. I didn't. Yep. God, I wouldn't ever do that again.
You would never do that to me.
But in all seriousness, genuinely amazing. How cool is that? That someone thought of you and sent something from all the way over across the seas.
Yeah. I think it's pretty exciting. I mean, the cool thing is that it was Zoror, who we all know from, a former kind of Sorare manager legend who now works at Sorare. And he basically jumped in the Discord and said I've got a couple of jerseys here, Sorare Down Under. I've got, jerseys with your name on it. Love the pod. You guys make me laugh. So I'm glad that, we're pleasing some people. We're pleasing the right people. That's the main thing.
And what'd you have to do? You just had to give him your bank details, tax file number, kidney. That's all?
Yeah, look, it was just a very easy wire transfer, $10,000 over to his account just to help with the transfer fees, and he'll send that money back ASAP as soon as he can. So should be fine.
Of course.
Yeah.
Got a new email here, and it's from a Nigerian prick.
Yeah.
But yeah. So look, I'm hoping that we can track down a jersey for Simon as well. I did ask. Didn't have any jerseys in stock that Simon was really after. I did feel a bit cheeky asking for two, but there are two of us, so stay tuned. Hopefully we can get Simon a jersey. He hasn't got a house. He's got a lot of spoons, but he hasn't got a signed jersey from Sorare, so we'll make it happen.
That's all right, mate. You're the engine that keeps it going. I'm just here for the the new shooting locations to keep spicing it up.
Okay, so we've got some spoons going on here. Very good view of the spoons.
Excuse me, I need a spoon.
Do you want to give us a bit of a back? You got any history on the spoons? Where do they come from? Who do they belong to? Where did they? Full collection there, which is you don't see that often. You don't see 2 full cases of spoons that often.
Well, I must say, one of them has a shark for the top of the spoon, and one of them has a camel. Camel spoon.
control. Where were we, Simon? What were we talking about?
So I remember what you were talking about before, and what I was going to say when you were saying that you don't care, you're very just accepting of the world, of whatever happens, happens. I was going to say it's a slippery slope, Alistair, because I myself was in that position only 2 months ago. Oh, I have my limiteds for fun. You know, if they win, they win. I don't care. You need to fucking pull yourself together. You need to snap out of it. I want moaning, I want whinging, I want bitching. Because as soon as you become safe and happy and you're just getting fun and enjoyment playing Sorare, it all falls apart from you quicker than you could ever think. So no more just being accepting. Get your shit together. That's
Next
what I
thing
have
you
to say.
know, I'll be going outside, enjoying time with my friends, putting my phone down. Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right, Simon. I need to pull myself together, lock myself in a room, obsess over the AA scores of a Norwegian midfielder, get back
Yeah.
to what I do best.
Yeah, that's it. And keep pumping out podcast episodes because, you touched on something before we hit record on today's app, which tickled me. It tickled me. Now, being a Sorare podcast, it's great. You know, I love the community. It's very niche. Everyone's passionate. Um, it's a really nice and loving place. But it's not exactly the first thing you bring up at a dinner party, you know? Oh, we have a podcast. I try and keep it on the down low. It's almost like my second life, you know? I have my wife in the living room and I visit my girlfriends on the weekend.
Yeah.
You were in a position where your two worlds very much collided.
It's just common sense. Anybody knows you gotta keep your worlds apart.
And talk us through that experience.
Yeah, it's hard to have a hobby that you're so ashamed of. I mean, it's a little bit more. No, I think we've talked about this briefly in the past. I really enjoyed it when I could tell people that it was like a Web3 NFT platform because I knew at the time that NFTs were something that people knew about, but it was shrouded in mystery. And I could be like, yeah, look, I dabble in NFTs. I'm on the cutting edge of technology. Now I just have to tell people that I do a podcast about fantasy sports, and something about that just doesn't feel as cool to me.
What the fuck is this?
It's our fantasy baseball draft. We said no wives.
So as we mentioned, Sorare have sent me this jersey, and my wife. So my wife's father and I have a bit of a bond over football. We'll watch the Premier League wrap up on a Monday whenever he's over visiting. He came to a couple of my soccer games. Like, I think I'm the son he never had. And so she was like, "Oh, this will be interesting. This is good conversation fodder. Did you know that Alistair has been sent a signed jersey from Tottenham because of his Sorare podcast?" Now, of course, his interest was piqued, and he said, "Cool, send me some episodes. Send me some of this content." And my wife called me at work and was like, "My dad's asked for some podcast episodes. Should I send him any? Are they suitable? Like, what should I send him?" And I'm like, first of all, probably not suitable. And I legitimately don't know what you can send to someone. It's like I may as well be like, I run a podcast about shipping components. It's an engineering podcast about the intricacies of the aluminium rods that hold together the bow of a ship. Would you like to listen? Like, it's so niche and it's so not related to anything he's interested in. I mean, he's thinking football podcast. Not really. Do we ever talk about football? Do we know anything about football? No.
Clearly not. No.
It's just us spinning lunch wheels and eating eggs and whinging about thresholds. Like, no one can get anything out of that. So I was like stressing out going through our episodes being like, what's our flagship episode? And I took it very seriously. I sent him a couple of episodes. I'm like, oh, this one we actually talk a little bit about football. There's some buy low, sell highs in there, a little bit more strategy focused. But I took too long to do that. So my wife just sent him our second ever episode, which is kind of worse because I can't imagine that was a good episode. I can't.
What is for credits? I don't know what that means to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show? Yeah.
Imagine we knocked that one out of the park. So he probably just is both simultaneously bored and very unimpressed with his son-in-law. So it's a win. It's been a good week.
I'm not going to sit here and say that our production value is top-notch. I am in front of spoons next to a plant in a random house. I'm not saying we're, the best of the best, but I am holding a protein scoop. But the second episode that we ever did, I'm pretty sure no mics, no lighting, awful scripting, just really bad.
We didn't even talk. I think we just recorded ambient noise.
I have an idea. So now, last week you brought up some news topics that caught your eye throughout the week. I'm not sure if any have done this week, but something caught my eye. And look, I don't work at Sorare. I'm not the greatest Sorare mind, but I think I've worked out a way to spice up the Rivals reward boxes even more than they already are.
Okay, now, I'm intrigued.
So for the past 2 weeks, I've been down at a camp, down in remote Victoria, no service, a lot of times myself. And I was driving back, going past fuel service station, one of those ones that's got everything under the sun. Now, I'm going to send this to you, Alistair, on direct message, and we'll play it up on the screen for those watching.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to send you, I want your thoughts if they introduce these into Rivals reward boxes as new mystery items. Coming through to you now.
Okay. So this is your idea for a new reward box opening.
Yeah.
All right, Tingler Ring. I'm down.
Have these? Is this an Australian thing? Is this a
No, I think this is a pretty international thing.
No, but to have the dispensers in a fuel station bathroom.
So what you're saying is that you hit your 7 streak, you might get some arena tickets, you might get a limited goalkeeper, or you also might get a Tingler Ring. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like the lunch wheel.
I'm down.
There's a lot of good things, but you could get the bogey item.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've seen the Sorare hoodie went off the shelves in a heartbeat over the weekend. Sorare beanies have been popular. Sorare caps. Let's not even get started. Have they thought about dipping their toes into the sex toy industry? I'm down for it. I mean, arena tickets or Tingler Ring. That's a tough choice.
Yeah, and might have a little Sorare logo on it because if you can convince a woman to come to bed with you after talking about your Sorare gallery, what better way to unify that connection than with a Sorare endorsed Tingler Ring, one through your Rivals reward box.
That's it. Yeah, and I mean, or if you get those arena tickets, go for that 10 streak and get that Sorare butt plug.
Now, did you expect that to be my contribution to the pod this week?
No, I'm glad that was your contribution to the pod, though. I must say, I'm surprised that this is your first interaction with a service station condom dispenser. They've been around for years.
But firstly, I'm surprised that they're still around. But is it an Australian thing? That's what I want to know. Is it just regional?
We can only ask the audience. Have you ever purchased a Tingle Ring from a service station? Let us know in the comments.
Because it just seems like an Australian thing. And Alistair, I'm just going to give you a heads up. Maybe this episode isn't the best one to show your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe blacklist this one.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. Well, look.
If you've sent him episodes, he's going to log on to YouTube. The latest episode to come up he'll probably click on that, and it'll be this one talking about Tingler rings.
I will be very surprised if he watches our second ever episode and then goes, you know what, give me some more of that. Let me subscribe. Let me like and subscribe. I'm thinking he's going to get about 5 minutes in and go, good for him. And then he's never going to look at it again. So, okay. Now, Simon, in lieu of any Sorare news, you haven't even got a team. I've already shared my Sorare content for the week. We have had some interaction with Sorare Rivals and the Lunch Wheel, of course. Now, Simon, you were very bitter. I got a very salty voice message from Simon after the last Lunch Wheel loss.
I'm pretty pissed off because I'm putting all this effort in, but I don't think there's any point in doing fucking games where there's they're just completely random and there's no way to check your lineup. Like, I got up this morning to check my lineups and I did all the fucking previews and all this shit, and fucking why are we doing Namibia, South Africa? It's like, okay, I went Namibia players. I don't know because they don't have pictures and their names aren't you don't know what their names are. You can't tell who the fuck they are. I couldn't even pick the South African goalkeeper, so I had to spend 80 gems. Let's put actual teams that we know the players and actually do some strategy of, rather than just fucking throwing it at a wall. I'm sick of losing Rivals over some bullshit. Bullshit.
It's an even playing field, Simon. Grow up. But we picked some games.
Maybe you should include that.
But look, we went around again. You were very brave. You stepped back into the Rivals arena and you promptly got thrashed once more. 2 wins in a row for me. Pretty convincing, I must say. Did I even drop a set in this week's edition of Rivals?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you lost the one game that actually made sense.
What do you mean?
You lost the Girona game convincingly.
I did lose. I lost the Girona game, but I won. Okay, so I won 2 sets to 1. The gracious winner, I said, look, I understand you're upset. South Africa, Namibia, that is a tough one. Let's pick another game. Let's do a tiebreaker. Winner takes all. You said, yep, no worries. And you still lost. So there are no complaints from you, Simon. But,
no, there is still complaints from me. There definitely is.
Okay,
You're the one that
grievances.
This longest format. I think it's very coincidental that you came off 2 or 3 Rivals losses, as you do, change the rules. I don't know.
I was trying to help. I was trying to help you, Simon. I didn't want it to be down to just one game. I thought, best of 3. It's all about skill.
I just won 3 games, Rivals matchups in a row. You were the one that needed help, mate.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, we'll go back to 1. I gave you the opportunity last week. I said, how do you want to play it from here on in? You said, no, let's keep going with 3. So we'll go back to 1 next week. Winner takes all. But that is in the future. Let's spin this lunch wheel right now. Are you ready? Okay. I'm sure I'll get a lovely feast. Lovely feast. Okay, here we go. I am going to spin right now. Here we go. I'm a bit nervous.
It was chicken and chips last week.
Oh, baby! A succulent Chinese meal.
Is the charge. Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir.
Oh, I'm stoked with that. Because a succulent Chinese meal, I mean, you're looking at a $30, $40 value right there.
I'm devastated because limited Danny Vukovic would have set me back about $2.
They're gonna onboard the A-League any minute now, and that Danny Vukovic is gonna be worth something. Succulent Chinese meal, I am stoked with that. This lunch wheel thing is working out very well for me.
This is some... okay. Well, I think we got to go back again. As I say, you got to get back on the horse. Whether it's 3 games or 1, I'm happy to do 3, but I still reckon it needs to be... Let's not do Namibia. But my grievance, Alistair, is that it was players that you couldn't see a picture. They'd never played for Clubland ever before. I'm still not sure they actually existed. And I didn't know if I was picking Namibian players or South African players because you couldn't tell. So just give me someone who actually plays some standard football. So I'll stop my rant, but hey, this is a good thing. It shows that Rivals is working. I'm caring about it. It was just
Simon's
it's
passionate.
so frustrating for me because I actually for once spent so long researching, looking up predictions, and then like to my horror, the first matchup, like 3 of my players DNP'd, and I was like, what the fuck? I like put so much effort in. I went on to play sharper.
Okay, well, I mean, look, we've been getting some great suggestions from the Twitter crowd. Maybe this time, Simon, how about you pick the matches that we play? Do you want to go back to one? I'm happy to do just one for the week. And maybe if you want to pick the match up, obviously you can't pick one where you have, pro cards. It's got to be one that's neutral ground. But how would you like to pick the matchup?
I think we both pick a matchup that we don't have cards in, and then we leave a neutral one that we both agree on for the third one.
Or we can put the neutral out to the Twitter crowd. Obviously,
yeah,
we have veto powers. Okay, all right. Well, tune in next week to watch a man with no house and no earthly belongings buy me lunch.
Yes, I've never been more excited for a segment to return. Boy, oh boy, it is none other than the Moon or Doon.
It's time for a Moon or Doon.
My God, it's been a long while between drinks, but we're here. January transfer window, plenty of things to discuss. I'm psyched. Are you psyched?
I'm psyched. It's been a pretty slow transfer window, I will admit. I mean, I've actually had some very favourable moves in my gallery. A lot of my kind of dead weight players have moved back to Argentina or back to Brazil. They've got some moves that will give them some utility, which is good. But yeah, look, I mean, you've been doing some research. You're going to hit me with some Moon or Dunes. Keen to hear everyone out there hear your Moon or Dunes. If there's any players that you'd like to hear our input on, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, I thought I'd kick one off. Like you said, pretty slow transfer window. Not heaps of big moves. One of the bigger ones, Radu Dragusin to Spurs. Moon or Doon?
I'm going to say Doon just because I think he's just depth, really. I mean, he's a good player from what I've seen. I don't think you can interrupt Romero and Van de Ven, but as we all know, Spurs have just been riddled with injuries this year. So, yeah, I mean, having him as a backup instead of, for example, Emerson Royale playing centre-back, I'm all for it. So I'm going to say Doon, but good Moon overall.
No. The new rule of the Moon or Doon, we used to say, oh, well, it's great for them. No. We don't care about them. Purely business. Strictly Moon or Doon.
Doon.
Yeah. But look, to be fair, Van der Ven, is he back yet from hamstring?
Yeah, he's back.
He's back, yeah.
And Romero's back too, yeah.
Romero will go studs up into someone and he'll be back.
yeah. Romero will kick someone's face off and then we'll have to get Dragusin in.
Yeah. Now on the flip side, the man himself, Eric Dyer to Bayern Munich.
Oh, that's a juicy one. I mean, people really love to hate Eric Dyer. He's not like the best player in the world. It's a weird move. I'll say that. I'm going to say Moon, and I'm going to say Moon because I think both of their centre backs went off injured today in the game they were playing against Berlin. So I think it's Eric Dyer season, baby. Stock up on your Eric Dyers. Quick side note: I've been trying to decode the signatures on this jersey for a while. I see about 8 that could be Eric Dyers, and I don't see any. I can't recognize any others. So I'm pretty sure Eric Dyer. They just give them to him because he's not getting any minutes. They just give him jerseys and he just goes meh and just scribbles on them. So, yeah, I've got an Eric Dyer signed Tottenham shirt, which could be worth something if he kicks on at Bayern, as I think he will.
That's true. I mean, that's the funny thing about that new Netflix doco, Champions of the World or whatever it's called. Like, it's crazy to think that he was in the England squad like a year ago.
Yeah,
and
he's a good player. He's got
players,
a slab
Lloris,
for a forehead.
He's now at LSD.
Yeah.
I think when the talent ID people saw him at 7 years old, they saw him at 7 years old, they saw that massive forehead and they just knew he's the perfect centre back to come up and take a header. You can't miss.
Yeah.
You actually cannot miss.
Up until the age of 6, he actually couldn't get out of bed because his head was way too big for his body.
Massive neck brace. Now, this one I was very, very excited for. San Lorenzo's brand new signing, Sebastian Blanco. Oh.
That's good. Well done, mate. Moon, obviously Moon. He's gonna wind back the clock. He's heading back to Argentina. He's back where he belongs. I'm calling it now. 30 goals, 28 assists. It's going to be the biggest season ever for Sebastian Blanco. I'm going Moon. Could I ever go anything else?
No, look, I'm just so excited to see a happy papa again. You're super rare, utility. You're rare, utility. My rare, utility. Like, glad I kept on. There's my first threshold player, Alster. First threshold player of the new team.
He's got a low cap.
That's it. What about Brandon Vasquez to Monterrey?
Ooh. Another controversial one. People are going, I thought he was going to Europe. He said he was going to Europe. Now he's just gone to Mexico. Seems a bit of a sideways move. I think Moon. I don't really understand why so many young American players go to Europe and just like... I was actually... complete segue, but I was watching a little mini segment on Daniel Arzani, one of the people who are fans of the Socceroos will remember that name. Young whiz kid, great big hope of Australian soccer. He kind of like went to the 2018 World Cup and kind of like played a few minutes and looked electric, and everyone was like, this is our guy. He got a move overseas. I think he was at Celtic for a bit. Then he went to Utrecht. And then he just never saw any minutes. He got injured, was on the bench, got dropped, loaned around, and basically he's just come back to the A-League now. And he's pretty much wasted his potential, by kind of going to Europe a bit too early. And I think a lot of these American players, Sam Vines, we just talked about, he's coming back. Georgi Mihailovic went over there, couldn't quite hack it. You can really, and there's so many players now that have gone over a couple of years ago and we haven't heard of them since. And are they really progressing? Can you progress if you're not getting on the pitch? I don't know. I actually don't mind just going to Mexico and crushing it and getting paid well and, performing in a pretty strong league. So I'm going to say Moon.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's pretty similar with the Australians. Like Marco Tilio has not even seen the light of day at Celtic. Geordie Boss in and out of Westerlo, or however you say it. So yeah, it's pretty similar. Speaking of a man that doesn't try and achieve hopes and dreams, happy to go from paycheck to paycheck, the biggest club slut of them all, Fafapico to Vancouver.
Vancouver?
Club in 4 years.
Wow, I did not know that. I love a bit of Fafa. I think he should do well. I haven't got many like strong forwards up there, so he should get some minutes. I'm going to say Sneaky Moon. I think he might be one of the little surprise packets of the year. I might pick one up.
Okay. Now, this one didn't go through, but would have been, I think, personally a Moon. Thoughts on the Jesus Ferreira to, I think it was Zenit transfer? Did you see that?
Spartak, I believe.
Spartak, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So that got blocked, but...
Yeah, I mean, I can see... I mean, they're going to need a new, like, kind of number 10, false 9 kind of player, because it looks like finally the law has caught up with our boy Quincy Promes. Apparently he went to, Dubai for, like, a party and kind of has risked, what's it called when you get you get taken out of the extradition. I saw an article today that basically he's facing like 9 years in prison for his cocaine charge. That's on top of the charge of stabbing someone. So I think this finally might be the year that Quincy goes to jail.
You can't keep getting away with it!
So I think your next threshold team purchase has to be a Quincy Promes, because every time it looks like he's going to go to jail, he has the best season of his life. So, not financial advice, actually, financial advice, buy a couple of Quincy Promises, because he knows that if he plays his little tookus off, those Russians are going to keep him around. They're not going to let him. They're not going to let him take him. They're not going to let the Netherlands have him. He scores too many goals for us. You're not touching him. This is Russia, motherfucker. So, buy Quincy Promises.
Holy shit. I mean, that is a dark day if our boy, Quincy, is no longer able to live out his dream in Russia, because he's proven everyone wrong. Like you said, how many times have people clicked the sell button on Sorare? They go, oh, well, he's now stabbed someone on top of his already charges. Now is the time to get off this train before it crashes, and then he just continues to pump out decisives. He is like the ultimate Moon. If we had to describe it in a dictionary, like Moon or Doon, Moon is Quincy Promes in Russia. Like,
but
that's all I have to
Doon
say.
is Quincy Promes in prison. That's a real Doon. Yeah, that's a Doon.
It's a real Doon. I'm not sure if this might be scraping the bottom of the barrel, but this is my last one that I had.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who this is, but Nicolas de la Cruz from River Plate to Flamengo.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of an older one. Yeah, I mean, it's a similar one where everyone was kind of like, oh, what's his next move? And he's just going to Brazil. Now, from what I understand, a lot of the Argentinian players go to Brazil because the money is in Brazil, and a lot of the best Argentinians go to Brazil, and it kind of is a bit of a shame for the Argentinian league. So I think he'll do really well at Flamengo. I mean, I don't know enough about that team to know whether he's going to continue to smash, but yeah, I'm interested to see. I'm going to say Moon.
Nice. Well, there you go. That wraps up our first Moon or Doon of 2024, Alistair. Unless you had any to add.
Well, I didn't prepare any, but I've got a couple off the top of my head that I could share with you. A couple of MLS ones that might be interesting. Emil Forsberg to the Red Bulls. That was kind of one of the first transfers of the window. So it's not breaking news by any means, but how do you think he'll do at New York Red Bulls?
Doon.
Doon? Okay. Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah. I feel like that's the most. We've seen this script before, right? I didn't think he was taking everyone's breath away in the MLS. So, ride the bench,
fair enough.
Odd minutes.
Now, this is another one that's been hot on everyone's lips. Jordan Henderson to Ajax.
Oh, of course. How could I forget? Well, obviously, it's definitely a Moon for him, for his card. Gone from zero utility to pretty good utility, I'd say. In terms of footballing perspective,
do you think he'll smash?
Yeah,
a lot of people are kind of torn. They're like, "Oh, he's washed," but a lot of people are like, "He'll crush at Ajax."
See, I don't think so. And I'm a Liverpool fan, and this might infuriate some, but I thought towards the back end of his years at Liverpool, I didn't think he was that good. He was very integral to the team. Captain, great leader,
good in the
been
dressing
there
room
for ages, but I didn't think that
good shower
on the
vibes.
pitch he was that impressive. Didn't think he was that impressive. So
Okay.
I think the best of his football's behind him. I think he's going to plod around there for a bit and then probably go to the MLS.
Okay. And now another one that's been hot on everyone's lips. We want to hear you weigh in. Kieran Trippier to Bayern.
Ooh, Moon. I think he's been really good in patches for Newcastle, a strong Newcastle outfit. He was remember he was pumping out those hundreds, obviously on sets. Really good at free kicks. You take him to a dominant Bayern team that when they've got those easy matchups, he'll rack up the AA. So I'd say Moon if that does happen. I don't know if that's on the cards or.
Okay, I'm very selfishly, I'm hoping that he just gets rotated all the time and doesn't really stick and kind of is a bit of a nightmare for people because obviously I sold his super rare. So I just want him. I sold his rare as well, so I only want bad things for Kieran Trippier. Sorry, guys.
Is that transfer happening?
Hasn't been confirmed, but I think it's looking pretty likely. Although I don't know, there's some issues running around with it. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Well, there you go. Wraps up.
Well, look, we've still got a week left of the transfer window, so I think we'll do another Moon or Doon next week. Please comment with your Moon or Doons, and we will discuss them next week. Because it's good to have Moon or Doon back. One of the all-time great segs.
It is. I feel like maybe it's just me completely not having rare cards, but it hasn't been as stressful as a transfer window as we might have thought. I feel like now that Saudi's sort of cooled the jets a little bit,
everyone's just leaving Saudi and coming back to regular football.
Yeah, exactly. So it's only upside, really.
Okay, now Simon, look, we'll probably wrap it up there, but as we know, it's a Thursday night here, and we've just recorded a podcast. So by the time this comes out, there will be probably a massive Sorare announcement, right? Because this is how Nicholas likes to operate. He knows when we're recording. He's hidden some kind of tracking device in this jersey that he's sent me. So let's just get some stock reactions to the big announcement tomorrow. Okay, I'll go first. Whoa. Crazy. I can't believe they did that.
This is the best thing that could ever happen to the platform.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to the platform. I can't believe they made John Nellis do that.
So you're telling me that the Sorare data show has had that dark secret this whole time? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Who'd have thought, hey? Sorare coins are worth $1 million each. All right, cool. That should cover it, I think.
That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll edit those in. Just whatever happens tomorrow. Take one of those reactions. That's our us weighing in.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, catch you on the other side of the weekend. I'm not sure if Liverpool will ever play again. I feel like I haven't been able to put a lineup out in months.
You sold all your boys.
No, I didn't. I've still got all my limiteds.
Didn't you sell your Griezmann and your Edison and stuff?
Yeah, but that's because I had 5 backup goalkeepers. Still got the boys.
Okay, the boys. Oh, well, hopefully you can get a team out. My teams are not looking amazing this weekend, but, we can always hope. I'm zen anyway. Alrighty, mates. Well, we will catch you later. Enjoy those spoons, Simon. And, can't wait for my succulent Chinese meal tomorrow.